How do we avoid getting Alzheimer's or dementia, and what can we do to protect against this?
Alzheimer's is becoming, and dementia, big problems. In fact, the fastest growing segment of the nursing home business right now is memory care. And one thing you don't want to do is end up in memory care as a senior, right? Interestingly enough, the same type of dietary indiscretions that lead to cardiovascular disease lead to Alzheimer's. And this isn't hard to understand when you think about the fact that the brain is the biggest utilizer of water, glucose, oxygen. How does the brain get this material? Through the blood vessels. So if you damage your blood vessels, you can have a heart attack, you can have a stroke, you can end up with dementia or Alzheimer's disease. There are very, very clear studies showing that there's a very clear link between intake of copper, too much iron, too much of saturated fat, animal protein, etc., in a dose-dependent manner. Another thing that I'll mention that gives us a clue as to the cause of Alzheimer's disease is that it is so geographically specific. In other words, there's no dementia and Alzheimer's disease in Okinawa and Papua New Guinea. You don't see much of it in northern Africa, where they're still living on a diet based on starch and tubers and that sort of thing. Where do you see all the Alzheimer's disease? It's in westernized countries like the United States, Norway, Australia. And so anytime you see a disease that has chosen specific locations, there's probably something about the habits of the people that's influencing the disease. Now, having said all this, I think there's another part of remaining cognitively sharp that we should always pay attention to. Eat the right food, as I just mentioned, plant-based diet, low in saturated fat, low in iron. People who eat a lot of animal foods take in way too much iron. So low-fat, plant-based diet, and then make sure you're hydrated. Even a 2% drop in water levels in your body can cause some cognitive decline. Not really noticeable, like nobody would say, that guy must be dehydrated today, he's not making sense, but you are less sharp. The other thing is using your mind. And the unfortunate part of growing older in our society is their world shrinks. So you have to go out of your way, if you're 80 or 90 years old, to make sure that your world doesn't shrink, that you're socially engaged, you're learning something new. One thing that I tell our people all the time, our members and our clients, is almost every university and college in the United States, or every state, has a rule that if you're over 60 years old, you can attend classes for free. Now, if you want to get a degree or something like that, you have to pay. But if you just want to go learn about religions of the world or horticulture or something you always wanted to study, you can go sit in class all day long. It's the best thing that seniors who don't have anything to do can do. My father got the equivalent of a horticulture degree at Ohio State University, and after he retired, kept him busy for a long time. He was working in the experimental garden. And so I can't really underestimate or express how important it is to pay attention to using your mind, social engagement, things to do, places to go, places to be, that sort of thing, if you want to remain cognitively sharp.